Take that hoop down right now. Marcus turned, sweat on his forehead, ball still in his hand. The woman from the HOA stood at the curb, sunglasses on, clipboard out, phone raised like a weapon. It's a temporary hoop, Marcus said, trying to keep his voice calm. I just moved it here for practice. She lowered her shades. Doesn't matter. This is a respectable community. We don't do driveway sports here. He blinked. Tell that to the kids on Birch Lane. They've had their hoop up all year. Her mouth curled. Those are longtime residents. You people should read the bylaws before moving in. Before Marcus could answer, the screen door slammed. Terrence came down the steps fast, jaw set. You people? The woman shifted, but didn't back up. I'm just enforcing the rules. Terrence's tone went flat. Then enforce them for everyone, not just the black kid with a ball. Silence fell over the cul-de-sac. Windows shifted. Someone whispered, "Here we go again." Terrence stepped closer. Right, you're fine if you need to. But that hoop's not going anywhere. The next morning, Marcus dribbled in the driveway again, each bounce echoing through the quiet street. A silver SUV rolled up. Different woman this time. Clipboard, same HOA badge. You were warned, she said, snapping a photo of the hoop. Terrence stepped outside, coffee in hand. Morning to you too, he said. Guess you folks take basketball real serious around here. She didn't smile. HOA code 6B, no visible recreational equipment. You'll be fined daily until it's removed. Marcus frowned. But the kids down the street. Don't compare yourself, she cut him off. Their setup's approved. Terrence's jaw tightened. Approved? Or just ignored? The woman's eyes flicked to Marcus. Maybe if you people kept things neat, we wouldn't have complaints. That word again. You people. Terrence took a slow sip, holding her stare. We'll handle it. When she left, Marcus looked up. Dad, maybe we should just take it down. Terrence shook his head. You take that down once, you'll be talking it down your whole life. Let's build something better, something they can't ignore. Marcus hesitated. Like what? Terrence smiled, small and defiant. A real court. Right here. The hammer strikes echoed through the afternoon. Marcus held a wooden frame steady while Terrence drilled bolts into concrete. Dad, this is kinda crazy, Marcus said, half laughing. Crazy built this country. Terrence grunted, tightening another screw. Let's make sure our crazies stand straight. A neighbor across the street paused mowing. He stared, then pulled out his phone, recording. Within an hour, 2 more neighbors stood watching, arms folded, murmuring. Can't believe they're actually doing it. Right there in the open, too. Marcus felt the heat of their stares. They're all watching. Terrence didn't look up. Good. Let him see what work looks like. The silver SUV returned. Same HOA rep stepped out, phone in hand. You've been told already. This is a clear violation. Terrence straightened, sweat running down his cheek. We're not breaking any law, just building on our property. She smirked. Property values don't like your kind of projects. Marcus froze. Our kind. She hesitated, then forced a polite tone. I meant unapproved structures. Terrence's voice dropped. You pick your words real careful when you talk to me. The woman backed away but kept filming. That night, the video hit the neighborhood chat. Comments flooded in. Why do they have to make it about race? Rules are rules. Don't like it, move. Typical. Marcus scrolled, fists clenched. Terrence said quietly, now you see what we're up against. By Sunday morning, the half-built court was already trending. Marcus woke to his phone buzzing nonstop, hundreds of notifications. A TikTok clip of Terrence and him working under the sunset had hit 1 million views overnight. Caption, HOA bans kids hoop. Dad builds full court instead. Marcus scrolled through the comments, eyes wide. This man's a legend. Typical HOA power trip. You know they wouldn't say that if he was white. He looked up at Terrence, who was pouring concrete like nothing happened. Dad, we're viral. Terrence wiped his forehead. Good. Maybe the world will see what fighting back looks like. That afternoon, cars slowed in front of their driveway. Some drivers honked and cheered. But not everyone. A white man in a golf shirt shouted from his SUV, You people always think you're above the rules. Terrence turned slowly. Say that again? The man sped off. By evening, a local news van parked across the street. A reporter called out, Mr. Hall, the HOA says your structure violates neighborhood safety codes. Any comment? Terrence smiled faintly. Safety codes didn't stop their kids from setting off fireworks last week. Guess they only enforce those on my block. The clip aired that night, and within hours, the HOA's inbox flooded with hate and support alike. Inside their home, Marcus scrolled the news feed. His hands trembled. "Dad, people are saying we're dividing the neighborhood." Terrence sat beside him. "No, son. We're showing them it was already divided." Outside, the newly dried concrete gleamed under the porch light, waiting for its first bounce. And across town, the HOA board met in silence, plotting their next move. The letter came on a Tuesday morning. Thick envelope, gold HOA seal. Marcus tore it open at the kitchen counter. Notice of violation. Penalty, $200 per day until removal. Terrence read it once, jaw tightening. They're really doing this. Before Marcus could reply, a knock rattled the front door. A tall man in a blazer stood outside, clipboard in hand. "Mr. Hall, I'm with the HOA Enforcement Committee." His tone was dry, practiced. "Failure to comply may result in lien action against your property." Terrence's voice was steady. "You mean you'll take our home if my son plays basketball?" The man didn't flinch. Rules preserve harmony. Everyone agreed to them when they moved here. Marcus stepped forward. "Everyone? My friends down the block have trampolines. And garden lights. You didn't find them." The man's eyes flicked over Marcus, cold, assessing. Perhaps they weren't, drawing attention. Terrence took a slow breath. "You mean weren't black? Say it." Silence. Then the man turned and walked off, muttering, "You people always make it about race." That night, they found tire tracks across the wet paint of their court. Marcus stared at them, heart pounding. They drove over it. Terrence crouched, running his hand over the ruined lines. "Let M. We'll paint it again tomorrow." By morning, a new message appeared spray-painted on the curb. "Go back where you belong." Marcus's voice cracked. "Dad, what if they come again?" Terrence looked out across the street. The same neighbors who once smiled now avoided eye contact. "Then they'll see us here," he said, still standing. But as he turned away, his shoulders sagged. For the first time, Marcus saw fear in his father's eyes. By Thursday, the neighborhood felt like a stage, and the halls were the show everyone whispered about. A news van parked at the end of the street, its camera aimed at the cracked, repainted court. A young reporter waved as she approached. "Mr. Hall, we heard the HOA's trying to fine you for your son's basketball hoop. Can we talk?" Terrence hesitated, glancing toward Marcus. "They'll twist whatever I say." Marcus spoke first. "Then let them twist it. We've been quiet long enough." So they talked. About rules used as weapons. About a boy just wanting to play ball. About what it felt like to be different in a place built to look perfect. That night, the clip hit local news. Texas father builds backyard court after HOA bans son's basketball hoop. By morning, it exploded online. Thousands shared it, tagging the HOA page with fire emojis and the caption, "This family did nothing wrong." The same neighbors who once ignored them now waved, some even dropping by with words like, "You're brave," though most said it too softly, as if courage was contagious and they didn't want to catch it. Then came the retaliation. HOA trucks appeared with measuring tape and cameras. A lawyer letter arrived claiming the court violated soil drainage codes. Marcus slammed the paper down. "They're just making stuff up now." Terrence nodded. "They're scared." He stepped outside, looking across the asphalt that gleamed under the morning sun. "Time to give them something real to be scared of," he said quietly. "What are you gonna do?" Marcus asked. Terrence's lips curved. Not a grin this time, but something harder. "I'm going public." The whole story. He didn't know it yet, but that decision would make them viral in a way the HOA would never recover from. The HOA called an emergency meeting. They claimed it was to restore neighborhood unity, but everyone knew what it really was, a showdown. Terrence arrived in his work boots and faded shirt, Marcus beside him in his team hoodie. Dozens of residents filled the clubhouse, whispering as father and son walked past the snack table with its untouched muffins and fake smiles. At the front sat the HOA president, Mr. Givens, a man who'd lived there since the subdivision was built. His voice dripped authority. "Mr. Hall," he began, "your court violates several community standards. It's creating division." Terrence leaned forward. Division didn't start with a basketball hoop. Givens adjusted his glasses. "We have rules for a reason. Property value, aesthetics." "Say it," Terrence cut in. "You don't like seeing a black family take up space in your perfect little postcard neighborhood." The room froze. A few gasps. A few heads bowed. Givens's jaw tightened. That accusation is out of line. Terrence's voice rose. So is vandalizing our home. So is threatening to take my house over a kid's game. Marcus stood up beside him. All I wanted was to play ball like everyone else. Someone from the back shouted, "Let the kid play." Then another voice, louder, "This ain't right." Within seconds, phones were up. Cameras rolled. Givens realized too late, this wasn't just a meeting. It was a broadcast. He fumbled his papers, muttering about decorum, but Terrence was already walking toward the door. "We're done here," he said. "You want the court gone? Fine. Come tear it down yourself on live stream." That night, the video hit millions of views. Clips of Terrence's words spread across social media with captions like, "HOA bullies picked the wrong dad." Reporters camped outside the gate. Basketball players, activists, and even a few celebrities shared Marcus's story. Donations poured in. Someone offered to resurface the court professionally, free of charge. By the weekend, Terrence stood outside as a construction crew repainted the lines bold and bright. The whole neighborhood watched, silent. Then a car slowed near the curb. Mr. Givens sat behind the wheel, face pale. Terrence didn't move, just looked at him, then back at the court. He bounced the ball once, hard. The echo rolled down the street like thunder. Marcus smiled, lifting the ball again. "Guess the rules changed, huh?" Terrence nodded. "No, son. We did." And for the first time in months, the street was quiet. Not because anyone told them to be, but because everyone was listening. By Monday morning, the driveway gleamed under the sun. Fresh lines, shiny rims, and a scoreboard someone had donated after seeing the viral videos. Marcus bounced the ball slowly, each thump a heartbeat of pride. Terrence stood nearby, sipping his coffee. "Looks good, huh?" Marcus nodded, eyes wide. "It's bigger than I imagined." The story had gone national. News outlets interviewed Terrence and Marcus, highlighting how a neighborhood rule had been weaponized against a black family. Social media exploded with messages of support. Families shared their own HOA nightmares. Hashtags like #HOA court stand and #Justice for Marcus trended. Even some neighbors who had stayed silent now stopped by. A woman from across the street handed Marcus a new basketball. "You boys did the right thing," she said quietly. But it wasn't just praise. Threats and comments still came online. The HOA issued statements claiming they were reviewing policies and working for fairness. Terrence didn't flinch. "Fairness isn't given, son. It's shown." And people saw it. Marcus dribbled, then stopped, looking at the hoop. "Dad, do you think it really changed anything?" Terrence crouched beside him, placing a hand on his shoulder. "It changed us. It showed a kid he can stand up, and it showed the world who's willing to fight for what's right." That's the part that lasts. Later that week, a group of kids from nearby blocks gathered at the court, bouncing balls, laughing, and shouting. For Marcus, the sound was more than basketball. It was proof of resilience, proof that space could be claimed and held, even when others tried to erase it. But as he looked down the street at the HOA building, Marcus realized something important. The fight wasn't over. Prejudice didn't disappear overnight. It would appear in new rules, new fines, new whispers. Yet, for the first time, Marcus felt ready. He was no longer just a kid with a hoop. He was someone who had seen what courage looked like, in himself and in his father. Terrence ruffled his hair. "You ready for the next game?" Marcus smiled, bouncing the ball once more. "Yeah, let's play." And somewhere, far beyond that quiet Texas street, another kid, watching the story online, picked up a ball too, knowing that sometimes, just showing up is the start of something bigger.